Hello and welcome, everyone. If you have not yet received a copy of today's workbook, please be sure to grab a copy. If you're watching this online, there'll be a link in the show notes where you can download the BSW series workbook. If you don't see the link in the description section of this video, then you can also go to colemantanner.com and look in the menu bar to access the link there. While we're waiting for others to join us in this workshop, let's go ahead and take a look at the question on the next screen, which is what's one tool, mobile app, or cloud-based system that you love using for personal or business use? And go ahead and share your answers to that question in the comments, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes. All right, hello again, and thank you for joining me for today's workshop, Setting Up Shop, Tools, Systems, and Basic Operations. This is the 8th of 12 modules in the Bespoke Startup Workshop series. This series has been strategically designed for aspiring entrepreneurs, influencers, and early stage business owners who want a step-by-step roadmap that explains how to launch your first or your subsequent business the right way, vastly improving your chances for success. Today's workshop is sponsored by Coleman Tanner Consulting, your source for strategic business solutions. All right, buckle up because Clayton is about to show us how he learned that passion without process leads to chaos. With a few clients under his belt, Clayton felt energized, but soon the cracks started showing. Missed client follow-ups, forgotten invoice reminders, losing time digging through files and emails. Clayton realized that a business without systems is more like a side hustle, not an enterprise. If he wanted to grow and breathe, he had to set up shop like a real business. Today's workshop is about what Clayton and you must build early in your Entrefluential journey. Simple systems that create freedom, not frustration. In this session, you'll learn how to identify key systems that every business needs to operate smoothly. You'll learn how to choose essential tools for communication, finance, marketing, and client management. And you'll design a simple but scalable operational workflow. Let's begin. All right. Before we continue, I have to go through this quick legal disclaimer. My lawyer, that would be me, tells me that I have to have this and share this disclaimer with you up front so that I can comply with federal and state laws. This workshop provides general information and insights for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as legal or financial advice. The information presented in this is not a substitute for professional advice tailored to your specific circumstances. You should always consult with a qualified legal, financial, or other licensed professional advisor before making any decisions based on the information provided in this workshop. We make no warranties or guarantees regarding the success, profitability, or other outcomes resulting from the application of any information presented in this workshop. Participants are solely responsible for their own actions, decisions, and the consequences thereof. Reliance on any information provided in this workshop is at your own risk. We disclaim any and all liability for any errors, inaccuracies, or omissions in the information provided, as well as any losses or damages that may arise from your reliance on the information. Please consult with your own legal and financial advisors to ensure that the information presented in this workshop is appropriate for your specific needs and situation. All right. A couple of housekeeping rules. Just remember that when you read comments on the comment section here in the video, that we want to make sure that we are polite to our collaborators here, because this is a community collaborative effort to learn together. And while it's a good idea to test ideas and debate those ideas, given our limited time available and the limitations of this being an online video replay, We want to not entertain those challenges during this workshop or in the comment section of this workshop video, but you're encouraged to challenge these ideas on your own after watching this workshop. Let's make this a positive, engaging experience for everyone who participates. Okay, quick information about me. I recently authored a co-book called The Bespoke Startup. It's a business incubator guide for aspiring entrepreneurs. Afterwards, I self published it on Amazon and began to create this series of workshops to teach these concepts in person. The goal of these series workshops are to give entrepreneurs and influencers what I wish I had when I was launching my first business. On the next slide, I'd like to share a little bit about my company and what we do. So there's three different branches inside of Coleman Tanner Enterprises. We have a real estate business brokerage, small business financial management, and small business consulting. Our mission is to provide small business owners with the guidance that they need to successfully launch, scale, and sell their businesses using micro M&A and private equity strategies to achieve the pinnacle of financial freedom, which to me means the ability to have time and money freedom. At Coleman Tanner Realty, we specialize in helping entrepreneurs buy and sell businesses. At Coleman Tanner Financial, we help sophisticated service-based business owners manage their bookkeeping, payroll, and tax planning, business valuation, financial management, advisory services, social media management, and we provide them with weekly business coaching or monthly business coaching. At Coleman Tanner Consulting, we can help with entity formation, corporate regulatory compliance monitoring, and other legal advisory services, specifically based around regulatory compliance and licensing. And we also specialize in developing bespoke micro M&A growth strategies to quantum leap your business from an entrepreneurial endeavor into an enterprise gazelle, which is nomenclature for a rapidly growing firm. Our end game is to help place you in a position to exit your business with a golden parachute in 3 to 7 years so that you can have the time and money freedom to enjoy your next life goal, whether that be to launch another business or travel around the world with your family and everything you can imagine in between. At the Entrefluential Training Company, we guide startup entrepreneurs through the pre-launch foundational stages of ideation, validation, branding, market research, and crafting an itemized launch plan, as well as providing marketing tips, recommendations for back office tools and customer support, and to show entrepreneurs how to use proprietary small business improvement matrix that we created so that business owners can mitigate risks and optimize opportunities for quantum growth and a successful exit. All right, who's this training for? It's obviously for aspiring entrepreneurs, but it's also for influencers, for startup founders, and early stage business owners. Okay, I'd like you to take this little self assessment by taking out a sheet of paper and drawing a 1, 2, and 3 and the top as you see on the screen. And I'd like you to answer the following question by giving yourself a rating from 1 to 5 in the first column, with 1 being a low score like an F in grade school, and 5 being your top score like an A in grade school. The first question is, are you using the core 4 systems of communications, marketing, finance, and fulfillment in your business? If your answer is yes, give yourself a 5. If your answer is no, give yourself a 1. And if you're using some of those systems, give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. Okay, the second question is, have you mastered any business tools yet? If you have, give yourself a 5. If no, give yourself a 1. And if you're somewhat familiar with one or more tools, give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. Okay, our third and final question in the self-assessment is, have you designed a basic workflow for your business? If you have, give yourself a 5. If you have not, give yourself a 1. And if you are experimenting with it already, then give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. All right. The core four systems you need right away. If you're running your business manually or relying on memory, it's time to systemize. In this section, we're going to look at four must have areas every professional service based business needs to operate smoothly, which are communications, finance, marketing, and fulfillment. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to plug in the right tools, understand your options, and build a basic but strong foundation that sets you up for growth. So, communications are items like emails, contracts, onboarding, scheduling, and client messaging, which you can get all of these done in a software program called Go High Level. Finance, tools like invoicing, bookkeeping, payroll, taxes. You can use software programs like QuickBooks Online or Xero. For marketing, that's content creation, publishing, and lead capture. You can use Canva, Go High Level, InShot, BigView, StreamYard, WeVideo, Libsyn for podcasting, and other software programs. For fulfillment, that's service delivery. You could use items like DocuSign, Google Drive, Dropbox, Paperbill, and Calendly. Let me pause here to say that you can include administration with communications. You can include sales with marketing, accounting with finance, and operations with fulfillment, as each pairing complements one another. Remember the KISS method. Keep it simple, silly. Using the lean canvas and knowing which tools and systems to use in your business, as well as documenting your standard operating procedures, aka systemizing your business, is setting yourself up for success. A business that is systemized and becomes scalable, and a business that is scalable is sellable. Selling your business in the future may not be on your mind right now in the beginning stages of your entrepreneurial journey, but no matter how much you love your business, you're going to want to exit it one day. So why not build a business that rewards you for your hard work, your creativity, and your time and money commitment? The Core 4 can help you do that. All right, that concludes our first mini presentation. Next up, we're going to have a short hands-on activity that will take this lesson from conceptual to practical. We're going to identify core four systems. Let's get started. All right, my friends, it's time to roll up those sleeves for the first activity of the day, identifying your core four systems. Here's the game plan. Identify which tools you plan on using inside of your business. Write down the name of the tool, how much they cost, whether that be on a monthly or an annual basis, and let's get this show on the road. Go ahead and pause the video now to complete this activity and hit the play button when you're ready to move forward. All right, let's check back with Clayton and see how he did on this activity. All right, for activity one, identify your core four systems. Clayton came up with the following answers. For communications, Gmail and Calendly. For finance, QuickBooks Online, Simple Start, and Stripe for payment processing. For marketing, Canva and Calendly, which is an appointment scheduler. And for fulfillment, Paperbill for contracts, onboarding forms, and training videos. Nice work, Clayton. Now let's move on to our second mini presentation of the day, choosing the right tools without overwhelm. Next up, choosing the right tools without overwhelm. With thousands of apps and platforms available out there on the internet in your app store, it's easy to fall into the trap of tool overload or analysis paralysis. But you don't need a tech stack, you need a starter pack. In this section, we're going to help you narrow it down to 3 essential tools that fit in your workflow, your goals, and your budget. Simplicity is the goal. We'll explore how to select tools that do the heavy lifting so you can focus on serving clients, not chasing software. If you're on a budget like me, when I first started my business, then you're going to want to start with some free or low cost tools. Here's a few examples. For creating emails, docs, and spreadsheets, I use Google Workspace on my iPhone. For accounting, I use QuickBooks Online and Stripe. For email marketing, I use Kit. And for websites, I use WordPress. If you want to get a little bit fancy, you can use StreamYard to broadcast live multiple channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at the same time. And you can also use Libsyn to broadcast your podcast. I use StreamYard a lot, and I'm also using Canva to create this presentation that you're watching right now. And I use BigView and InShot to create talking head videos with B-rolls and cue cards. I also like WeVideo. And I use InShot for editing, by the way. For our next hands-on activity, we're going to go shopping for our 3-tool starter pack. So get your credit card ready because we're going to help you use it. All right, are you geared up for some action? Let's dive into hands-on activity number 2, the 3-tool starter pack extravaganza. Imagine if you only could choose 3 tools to kickstart your business adventure right now. What would they be? Why would they be in your dream team starter pack? All right, go ahead and jot down the 3-tool starter pack on your worksheet. And if you're itching to get rolling, snag those subscriptions now. We'll be here holding the popcorn for you. Go ahead and pause the video while you take care of this activity. All right, let's check back in with Clayton's compass to see where he is on his entrepreneurial journey and where he's leading us. Clayton reveals his 3 tech picks: Gmail, QuickBooks Online, and Canva. He chose these 3 tech tools, say that fast, because they are simple, affordable, and powerful. What are your top 3 picks? In the next and final presentation of this workshop, we're going to explore how to design your basic workflow. So let's get to it. All right, my friends, it is crunch time. We are on to the exhilarating conclusion of today's mini presentation trilogy, designing your basic workflow. Now that your tools are in place, let's make your business feel like a flow and not like a fight. In this final section, designing your basic workflow, we're going to connect the dots from first contact to final delivery. You'll learn how to create a seamless step-by-step journey for your clients, using your tools to automate the routine and elevate the experience. By the end of this segment, you'll have your first workflow mapped out, one that saves you time, sets clear expectations, and leaves your clients impressed. Here's a simple 6-step new client workflow for business or life coaches. The first step is to get the prospect's attention, which this coach does by posting weekly on Instagram. A prospective client sees the post, has been tracking that coach for some time, and finally decides to book a discovery call. The appointment is booked and automatically added to the coach's calendar using a tech tool called Calendly. Next, the coach sends the new client an engagement letter, aka a contract for services, via Gmail. If you want a more professional appearance for your business, you can get a business email like mine, john@colemantanner.com, from GoDaddy. Their prices vary, but I just renewed a 1-year contract for less than $100 for the year. You could pay for a premium account with Calendly to accept payments via their platform, or you can send the new client an invoice for payment using QuickBooks Online, an account that connects to Stripe and to your business bank account. I'm assuming you already have a business bank account set up. If you don't, go ahead and grab one ASAP. If you're a sole proprietor, you can register your business using a fictitious name, which we call a DBA, with the Department of State and take that registration confirmation to the bank to open your business checking account in your name and in the name of the fictitious name of the business. And so after you've collected payment and signed your engagement letter, both of which can be automated using Paperbell, your next step is to deliver the coaching service. At the book time of appointment, you and the client will both get an email notification that it's time for your appointment. Calendly allows you to hook up to Zoom. So at the time of the appointment, you just click on the link that comes to you in your email or by text message. And if you have any visual items to share with the client, you can use a Canva presentation, which is what you're watching right now, which is similar to the old school PowerPoint that we used to use back in the days, but this one's more like on steroids. Canva is like the Mighty Mouse of presentations, in my opinion. For those of you who are too young to know who Mighty Mouse is, you can Google it. Lastly, after your meeting has been concluded, it's always a good idea to follow up with the client in 24 hours to see if they were satisfied with the service and receive a client testimonial if they're willing to offer one, or they can complete a client satisfaction survey to give you a gauge of what you're doing good and what you're not doing good, room for improvement, so that you can make your coaching services better, which you can also create for free using Google Forms and Gmail. For today's final activity, we're going to map out our first workflow. So you've already seen the example that I gave you of a simple workflow. You can adopt that one or make modifications to it as you wish. But go ahead and document your workflow so you can eventually delegate, automate, and scale without stress. Remember, a repeatable workflow equals a consistent client experience. So go ahead and pause this video while you work on this activity and hit the play button when you're done so we can resume the workshop. I'll see you in a few. All right, let's check back in one last time with Clayton to see what he discovered and what his next steps are going to be. Here's a look at his 7-step simple client workflow. Notice how he not only specifies each step of his service, but he also includes the software he uses to accomplish each step. Step 1, client books consultation, Paperbell. Step 2, send a welcome email and client intake questionnaire, sent automatically through Paperbell. Invoice, QuickBooks Online and Stripe. Branding clarity session, Zoom call. Deliver messaging blueprint, Google Doc or Canva. Feedback and minor revisions, email. Request testimonial, email. This is a good example of how you can keep it simple yet powerful. All right, thank you all for joining us for today's Bespoke Startup Workshop. Here's a concise summary of our key takeaways. Number 1, systems are not just for big businesses. They are what make you big. Number 2, one tool per core function is plenty to start. Number 3, map your workflow early because it's your secret weapon for growth. And now here's your homework assignment. Set up your 3-tool stack. Build your first simple workflow and test out the tech tools as if you were a new client. Then get ready for workshop number 9, where we will be learning about startup financials and funding options. Now it's your turn to ask me any questions that you have in the comment section of this video. Please be sure to collaborate and engage with other people who are leaving comments as well, but be polite. And that's a wrap for our workshop. A huge thank you for being a part of the fun. Before you dash off, let me drop my contact information here so you can snag more goodies like this in the future or get in touch with me if you fancy teaming up. You can snap a picture of this social media contact information and we can move forward from there. All right. And I would appreciate it if you would please pass this along to anyone who could use a boost in their business. And I look forward to keeping this conversation going. Wishing you epic wins on your entrepreneurial endeavor and adventure. Lastly, please accept my heartfelt thank you for inviting me into your home, office, or mobile device to facilitate this workshop for you. I truly appreciate the opportunity to serve you as your business broker, legal and financial advisor, and business consultant and educator. And I look forward to collaborating with you one day in the future. Take care and God bless you all. Thank you, and thank you again. Bye for now.